Entitled stepdad who I went NC with almost 2 years ago showed up to my doorstep demanding I let him in my home and let him see my daughter, by user baddestbitch10102. I 22, F, went NC with my stepdad in April of 2022 when I found out I was pregnant. I moved in with my husband after I found out. I haven't seen my stepdad in almost 2 years. I went NC with my stepdad because he was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive to me my whole life. He molested me from the ages of 13 to 15 years old. He sexually assaulted me at age 15. I cut my mother off and went NC about 2 months ago before I had my party for Halloween, which went good BTW. I went NC BC. She would pitch a fit every time her husband wasn't invited to something. She kept disrespecting my home and my boundaries. She kept trying to force me to have my abuser in my life. Yesterday morning at around 8:30 am, he showed up to my door. I heard a knock and looked at my Ring doorbell camera. It was my abusive stepdad. He shouted, "Open up, it's me. We need to talk." Keep in mind he has tried to contact me through fake social media accounts, and blocked numbers. My Ring doorbell has a feature where you can talk through it. I talked through my Ring doorbell. I told him, "I don't want to talk to you. Go away or I'm calling the police." He said, "I'm not leaving until I see my granddaughter." I immediately went into the other room and called the police. He was beating on my door. He was kicking my door. He was yelling obscenities towards me. My Ring doorbell camera recorded everything. The police showed up 10 minutes later. He was still there yelling and banging on the door. One police officer came inside to speak to me. The other officer moved him into the parking lot away from my door. I told the officer what was going on and he went back outside to talk to him. He called the officer a piece of shit. I heard him yelling so loud the whole building could hear him. He threatened to beat up the officer and refused to leave. He was out in handcuffs and arrested. One officer told me how I can get a protective order. Many of my mother's friends, his friends, and people from our family were angry with me for calling the police and spread lies about me on Facebook. I'm so glad I went NC. Found this gem on a babysitting group I'm in, by user Nosarius. It's fine. Thought it belonged here. Posting. Hi all. Our family is looking for a long-term nanny for our 3 children, twin girls, turned 3 years old in January, and newborn, due December 29th. The twins go to preschool in the mornings, Monday/Wednesday/Friday 8:30-12, so much of the time will be with the baby. Spanish speaking is preferred. A little bit more about the job. Pay equals negotiable weekly salary or $30 $35/week. Start date in December or early January. Schedule, MTH 6 am to 4:30 pm. Some days you will get off before 4:30 and on a rare occasion maybe past 4:30. Wednesdays are usually a short day. Occasional Friday or weekends/nights for dates, sporting events, etc. Responsibilities would include childcare, grocery shopping, plus light housekeeping as time permits while children are at school or napping. Cleaning bottles, laundry, cooking nutritious healthy meals for the children, tidying/organizing children's room/bathroom and kitchen after meals. School drop-off/pickup required, we will provide a car. Must enjoy participating in age-appropriate educational and fun activities with toddler and baby. Must be up to date with flu and Tdap vaccination and infant CPR certified, we're happy to cover cost of the class and/or vaccinations. Must know how to swim and have water safety as we have a pool. If this sounds interesting, send me a DM and chat more. Later clarified that it is not a live-in position. Edit, I thought the same thing many of you did. However, when I reached out to ask if it was $35/HR or $350/WK, they clarified that they meant $35/WK. Edit number 2, as another commenter mentioned, apparently this same post is in another group, without a budget, a few hours away from where I'm located. The posters are 2 completely different accounts, 2 different families. I'm kind of wondering if this isn't something a little deeper than a parent with unrealistic expectations. Edit number 3, so apparently this post is circulating on several different forums in several different parts of the US. From Pensacola, to Panama City Beach, to Austin, to Charlotte. All by different posters. This is definitely deeper than a delusional parent. Dear sports parents, hotels are not daycares. Parent your children, by user Sir_Tony. Let me start this out by saying that hotel staff dread kids' sports teams. Whether it's kids ding-dong ditching other guests, drunk parents messing up the lobby, or generally disturbing other guests. Kids' sports are dreadful affairs. Kids are there to have fun, parents are there to live vicariously through their children. Over my 6 years working in this industry, I've got my share of stories to tell, but one sticks out like a sore thumb. A bit over a year ago, I found myself calling the police to have a team, possibly drunk, middle school girls and their absolutely plastered parents removed from my hotel. I've worked the graveyard shift at a smallish hotel for the last 4 years. I love it. It's a do whatever you want as long as you get your job done job. I essentially get paid to sit on my ass playing video games most of the night. During my shift, I am the only staff member on the premises. While I'm good in a crisis, I'm not an imposing figure. I'm a barely over 5 feet 1 inch, fat, pale as a sheet, baby-faced 26-year-old woman. My hotel has a 2 strikes you're out policy when it comes to noise complaints. Doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing, I've kicked guests out for fucking too loudly. If we get 2 noise complaints about you, you're out. If you refuse to leave, I will call the police to remove you. We also have a 10 p.m. curfew for children. They can't be outside of their room without a parent. On the night in question, we were hosting several middle school girls' hockey teams for a tournament. While the most of the kids were in bed, there was a group of girls who were wandering the first floor lobby area. When I told them they needed to be in their rooms, they pointed to a group of adults drinking in the lobby and said they were their parents. I went back to my work and thought nothing of it. A little while later, I was on my way to deliver something to a guest when the girls joined me in the elevator, chatting loudly. When I warned them about our noise complaint policy, they just laughed at me. I knew I would be kicking them out when I saw one of them waving to the security camera while I was in the back office. A little while and one noise complaint after that, the girls walked through the lobby with one of their dads and I warned him that I'd have to kick them out if I got another noise complaint. I'd be kicking them out. He laughs. Their parents in the lobby tell me they have no idea who those girls were. One of them comments that he thinks the girls might be drunk. Bear in mind these girls are only 12-13 yo. I've done housekeeping. Parents have no problem with leaving booze out in the room they're sharing with their kids. Not long after comes the death knell, the second noise complaint. I grab my phone and head up. Get to the room and it's just the 6 girls and no parents. I tell the girls I need them to take me to their parents because I'm kicking them out. One of them calls their mom and tells her we're kicking them out. I've dialed 911 and am on the phone with an operator, who tells me to walk away from the situation. I go to the elevator, trying to no avail to get one of the girls to come with me and take me to her parents. I should note that there are 6 girls and 6 parents. Moms will be referred to as M1-3 and dads will be Ed1-3. One of the moms walks up to me while I'm headed to the elevator. EM1, I can see you're having some issues right now. You just need to calm down. Me, no, your families need to leave. EM1, continues to try and comfort me about my personal issues on the elevator ride down. I get off the elevator and find myself backed against a wall by 6 drunk, angry parents. EM2, my daughter said you put your hands on her and she has video. ED1, we're paying X amount of money to stay here. EM3, look, I can tell you're young and I'm much older than you. ED2, I want to talk to you manager. Me, I am the manager. Slight fib, but I am the most senior person on staff at the moment. All parents continue like NPCs with only 3 dialogue options each. Now that one of them thinks I put my hands on her child, I'm scared shitless I'll get hurt if I make a wrong move. I eventually manage to slide along the wall and have a clear path to the front desk. Bolt to the back office, lock the door, and wait for the cops to arrive. 2 officers arrive. One comes to the back office and I give him a rundown of the night. The other officer goes to talk to the parents and EM3 does most of the talking. Officer has the patience of a goddamn saint. After an hour of talking and a few uncalled for snide comments from me, cops head out. I tell them my manager will get the security cam footage for them. Parents and kids grab luggage trolleys and bring their stuff down. Parents have a 9-hour drive ahead of them. One of them broke the mini fridge in the room. Standard charge of $250 for that. One of the most infuriating comments that kept popping up throughout this whole ordeal was I'm paying X amount of money to stay here. Everyone is paying to stay here. All 100 plus guests in this building are paying to stay here. Paying for a hotel room does not entitle you to stay at that hotel. EM3 calls the next day. Says she'll call the police on me. I tell her to go ahead. I've broken no laws. She says she knew that I was going to charge her for damages, not realizing that she's basically confessed to breaking the fridge. She says I've traumatized the girls. Who will the jury have sympathy for? Yada yada, eventually gives up and hangs up. TLDR entitled sports parents can't be bothered to parent their children and get kicked out, causing the organization that they booked with to be blacklisted from all hotels in the area. I'm so sick and tired of my dad and uncle treating me like their personal maids, by user old guide 7244. My dad forces me to cook for him literally every single day and he hasn't once cooked for himself. I have to wash the salad and cook whatever meat or bread or beans or whatever he gets. And I have to drag his table to his chair and serve him his tea. On top of that, I have to clean literally every room in the house, minus my brother's room, although I used to be forced to clean it, and not only do I have to clean my bedroom, but I have to clean the kitchen, the living room, and bathroom with no help. And my dad makes me clean his table despite the fact it's literally his own table that he uses every day, and when I ask him why do I have to clean everything when it's all of our house and all of us should clean, not only me, he got really mad and said that it's not that. Then what is it? Why am I the only one expected to clean? It's our entire house. And my dad doesn't give me any reasons and answers as to why I am the only one expected to do all the cleaning, and he just responds with anger and no answers. And every time my uncle comes to our house I am expected to bring him a plate with his food and a drink, then after a while I am expected to bring him ice cream. I can't take it anymore. But when I complain about this on some other subreddits I get downvoted and people tell me off and say that kids should be able to cook for their parents. No. Parents and the children should cook for themselves. I am so tired of enablers on Reddit excusing lazy parents who treat their kids like servants. Entitled Mother Leaves Her Children in the Kids section of a department store, by user Plinkert. We're going back in time to 2004, when I worked at a chain department store. Let's just call it LE Bonbon, haha. I was 22Y/0 at the time and floated between the departments. That evening, I was covering the kids department by myself, facing and folding, fixing the tables, checking the changing rooms, etc. A woman with 3 small children, let's say, 3, 5, and 7 if I had to guess, was at a table pulling out shirts to hold them up and then tossing them back in crumpled heaps, forming a pile. Her kids joined in, making a mess as well. Ugh. I'd have to straighten and fix the entire table. The woman and her kids move along. I fix the table, which takes some time, before returning to the counter. I hear kids laughing and shrieking. Close to the counter in the kids section, we had a little round sitting area facing a wall of TVs. Various kid-friendly shows played on low volume on each screen. It was a chaotic scene to behold. The 3 kids were there jumping and climbing all over the short benches. No mother in sight. I do a quick search and cannot find her. I get my manager next. LP is pulled in. We talk to the kids, who are super hyper, to get their mother's name. We call her over the loudspeaker. We wait. No one comes. Our LP contacts mall security. They call her over their loudspeaker. 10 minutes later, she comes storming in, furious, a bag from another store and a huge cup from the food court in her hands. She demands to know why we called her. We explain the situation with her kids being left unattended in our store. She flips out, stating that the girl, she points at me, is there to watch kids in the kids section, and that's why there's a big wall of TVs there. It's so mothers can go shopping stress-free. LP and my manager tell her that's now how it works. She asks if we have any idea what it's like to go out shopping with 3 young kids in tow. She is frothing at the mouth. At this point, her kids are tearing up tables again, running and screaming, having a blast. She is asked to leave and throws her cup of soda at the floor. Before we can do anything else, she grabs up her smallest child and shrieks at them that they are leaving. LE Bonbon is the most horrible place ever and she'll be calling corporate about our misconduct. It's been 20 years. Sometimes I still wonder how those kids turned out.